I do what I want, I say what I want, make money every day, working my way. I'm a successful fucking woman, love what I do. A successful fucking woman, playing by my rules. Girl, boss, bitch, fempreneur, don't need no labels. Some days wearing pants, sometimes maybe a dress. All that matters is I'm turning tables. I'm a successful fucking woman, love what I do. A successful fucking woman, playing by my rules. Cause terms unimportant, it's about putting the work in, and every day more women can slay if we let them know how they can grow into successful fucking women. Ya heard?
Boss babe, boss girl, fempreneur, all terms to describe the fairly recent phenomenon of women becoming heavyweight players in the industry. But what does it really take for a woman to succeed in her field? I'm Sierra Scott, and today I've invited Molly Pan, photographer extraordinaire, here to share her secrets to success. So, let's not keep her waiting. I have questions.
Hello everybody, my name is Molly Pan and I am a photographer from Los Angeles.
So welcome guys, this is Life Unlimited. My name is Sierra, and obviously this is Molly Pan.
Hello.
World-renowned photographer, awesome lady, and boss extraordinaire.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome, you're welcome. So today we're gonna talk to you a little bit about that's a lot of thigh, actually. Hold on, I'm wearing shorts underneath though, like a child.
Yeah, I gotta cross my legs the other way too.
Yeah, okay. But we're gonna talk to you about how you became the just crazy boss, fantastic photographer genius that you are.
You are too kind.
Yeah, let's give us a little preview. How did you get interested in photography? Like, what made you want to delve in?
Well, so my dad had a film camera when I was like really little. I mean, he didn't like let me take pictures. I guess I wasn't like super that interested, but he always had one, and it was like he'd take tons of pictures of me and my mom and like just our family and stuff. And so so that was, you know, sort of like the early influences, but I really started when I started acting in Chicago, and I like looked at headshot prices and I was like, oh, well, I could go get headshots for $500, or I could buy a camera for $700. And you know me, I'm very DIY. Like, I love to make things, I love to do things myself, like work with my hands and all that stuff. So I decided to get a camera and like just to try it out and like take my own headshots. Mm-hmm. And so after I took my own headshots, like they turned out pretty good for like not knowing at all what I'm doing. And then and then people started asking me like, who took your headshots? And I was like, I took my headshots. And they're like, oh, can you take my headshots? And I'm like, oh, sure, okay. So then like after a few of those, I'm like, maybe I should charge people money for doing this.
Yeah, maybe.
So then I started off like, you know, really, really cheap. Like, I think it was like $25 for like a look or whatever. And then it just kind of like, that was 10 years ago. So that kind of just like went up from there.
Yeah. And I mean, in 10 years worth of experience, you are technically a master, right?
I thank you, but I would never say that I'm a master. I don't think I'll ever call myself that, because I always think like, oh, thanks. Yeah, I always think that, you know, like I always have so much to learn. Like on every single shoot, I try to learn something, be it like the interpersonal skills or lighting skills or technical or whatever. I'm always trying to learn something.
And I think that's wonderful. And just so y'all all know, we have these wonderful little lapel mics, which I did not test beforehand. It was on my list of things to do, but I didn't do it. And Molly came in here and she was like, girl, I got this. And she learned, like, she put it together real quick. This is how like amazing she is, and all the skills that you've learned through life and how they, you know, they help in different areas.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. I was telling you, like I used to do music, and so like music is all about plugging one thing into another. Like the sound system is like just like a bunch of wires going all over the place, and you have to like sort of keep each one separate and plugged into the right thing. So that's kind of where I got that from.
of it.
Yeah.
So since you mentioned that, how important is it, do you think, for people to approach learning a skill? Because, you know, everybody thinks, I think nowadays, when they see people who are just doing so much, it looks so great, like all of their skills and talents have reached a point to where just everything comes together. But people assume that that's where you start, you know, like they don't know all the back end of what has gone into this and all the hard work and time that was spent on it. So what do you think, in terms of people just starting things, is the most important thing that they should know going in?
Oh, I think find something that makes you feel good. Mm-hmm. I think, because if you're doing something that does not make you feel good, you're gonna burn out really quickly, and you're not gonna get to the point where you get really, really good. So, you know, it is like with anything, you can't immediately expect yourself to be really good at it. So you have to spend the time and the energy and the money on bettering yourself, right? So like, you know, like with certain things, if you don't enjoy it, unfortunately it's probably not for you. So because you just cannot force yourself to spend 10,000 hours on something that you don't like. So yeah, so, and you know, everybody's into different things, and so I think, you know, the reason that some people haven't they don't know what that thing is because they haven't found it yet. Mm-hmm. So I would say, like, if you're, you know, looking for something, do all the things. You know, I like, you do all the things. Like, you do music, you do like this stuff, which is like super fun. You model, like, it's like I'll do all the things, and then when you find something that you truly makes you feel good and like makes you passionate and makes you want to do more, follow it and keep going until, you know, either you burn out on it or you become really, really great at it.
I met you years ago at this point.
Many years ago
at this point, which is crazy to think about. But when I first saw you, I first saw your work, and, you know, I tell everybody this story. I was like, I have a girl crush on all of your talent and everything, and I slid into her DMs and I was like, how can we be friends? How can we work together? Like, what do you need? Whatever you need, how can I be there for you? And how did you grow that? Like, you had an amazing Instagram following then, and you have an amazing Instagram following now, like even more amazing. How did you make that happen? Like, what was do you have a strategy for Instagram, or is it
just for Instagram? Yeah. So it's like, at the beginning, it was like a lot of work because I wanted to grow it to, you know, a certain number. So for me, it was 30,000. Mm-hmm. And so like my goal was that. And so I really went in and like found people who were interested in photography or who were photographers. And then I like interacted with like their followers. Mm-hmm. So I mean, like, it's kind of like maybe a little stewy, but I wasn't like, hey, come follow me, like follow my whatever and get this. I was more like just interacting with them and like commenting on their photos and like liking their stuff, and then I was posting the best work that I had. And so like I think that's really how it became a thing. But it did, like, at the beginning, it did take like hours every day. Like, it was just a lot of work. Mm-hmm. Once I got to a certain point, I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I like recently really haven't been putting that much work into it. By recently, I mean like probably in the last few years. Haven't really, like, I've kind of, you know, just let it be what it is, and I
feel organic now.
Yeah, exactly. I occasionally post whereas before I was like posting pictures every day and like interacting every day, but now I'm just like,
I am here.
Yeah, I am here, and if there's a photo I like, I'll like it, and you know, I've made a ton of friends on Instagram that I like regularly interact with. And so yeah, those people are also, you know, have become fans of mine, and I'm fans of theirs. Mm-hmm. I am a fan of theirs. But yeah, it's all about like organic interactions and like actually making friends with people. Mm-hmm. And I think, you know, a lot of people like to fake that kind of stuff, and it really can't. I think it doesn't do anybody any good.
How much? So I agree with you. It doesn't do any good, and it's really, I don't know, it does seem disingenuous when people like pretend to be your friend just so they can get that follow or that like or whatever. Mm-hmm. How do you go about it? Like, do you take it personally if people, like, you know, because in the beginning, I guess you get really close to these people who you're interacting with.
Yeah.
How do you handle it you know, when all of a sudden they just drop off and it's like, oh, they've unfollowed or they have, you know, not liked something for a while, and
Yeah.
it feels like maybe they don't
Like they're trying, yeah, they're not quite as into you.
Yeah.
And it's more,
Do
yeah.
you take it personally? How do you feel about
I
that?
try not to, you know, it's hard because like if you really got to know someone and you're like, you have a personal relationship with them and they suddenly drop off, it like hurts. But I try to, because like, you don't, like, these are internet friends, like, so I don't know them in real life.
Right.
So I don't know what's happening in their life.
Mhm.
Like someone might have gotten sick or like, you know, life circumstances might have taken them away. So I try to think of that, but sometimes I still get sad.
Okay. Same season. I'm glad that it's not just like, and I always felt like maybe it's just because I have like a smaller following that I interact with or
Mhm.
something. Maybe I just get too like involved in them and
Mhm.
whatnot. But I'm just like, oh, okay. Like I thought we were like exchanging stuff like all the time.
Yeah.
Or, you know, like, oh, I like you so much. I'm like, oh my god, you're so nice. Like cool. And then all of a sudden it's like they've unfollowed you.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And it's like, what happened?
Yeah.
I thought we were cool.
Yeah. And some people are really in it for like for you to follow them back and then they unfollow you because they want that ratio, which is kind of shitty, but
It is a little bit. And I mean, and on that note, I don't know how you feel about Instagram just as an overall, but there was a time there especially during quarantine, where I was like, oh, everybody's getting like really real. Everybody's like seeming like they're an honest person, and I feel a little bit more connected to them. But then I feel like there was a shift, maybe once quarantine stopped, and we kind of went way back into the like, this is my Instagram face. This is like what I'm doing. I'm in, you know, Bali right now or whatever. Yeah. I feel like there was like such a shift, like just randomly after we had gone through all this stuff kind of together. And I mean, I took a break from Instagram. I wasn't all there all the time, but what I did see, I was like, oh, okay, I kind of like this. I kind of like people just being in their house, you know, like when the talk shows were in their house and stuff like that too. But I don't know, do you feel like it's kind of more artificial now, or do you think it's more real now? Or
I do know what you're talking about. Like people are starting to vacation again, and like they're starting to get together for parties, and you know, showing all that kind of stuff. But I think that's just it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like certain people are going to show that part of them and not show the real part.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I guess that's a good question. I've never really thought about that before, because I think like for me, like I pretty much never post personal content anymore. It's just like I only
except
use
for kitties.
Yeah. No,
Kitties.
cats are a separate thing. They're like
Their own genre.
their own. So it's personal, professional, and cats. And professional and cats, I'm on. Yeah. So I don't really, I guess, use social media for social purposes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I think it is inherently kind of harmful, just because, you know, it is a representation of your life that doesn't necessarily exist.
Mm-hmm.
You can't show everybody everything.
Yeah.
So
and then
you
nor
know,
do they want to see it, honestly.
Exactly. So, you know, but yeah, for me it was kind of hard. Like, what do I like? If I took a picture of me on this beach, would it be like me, you know, posting only the best and then, you know, not posting the worst? But then, you know, when I'm crying in my bed, it's like, do I post this too? Like,
yeah, it's real. It happens.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's tough. So I just don't do it. I'm like,
just stay away.
Yeah.
That's a good thought though. Like,
yeah.
Because I try and think about those things. Oh, well, sometimes I'm really into filters now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is. I
Yeah.
mean, I know exactly what it is. It's like, I look good with a filter.
Yeah.
I look real good. So
Yeah.
I'm like, let's make this happen.
Yeah.
But at the same time, then I'm like, oh, I don't want to contribute to people having unrealistic expectations because that's, you know, awful.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're really fun. And I
They're
want
fun.
people to be able to, like, I don't know, I hope we get to a point in society where we're able to, you know, separate what's real and what's fake. And it's like, just like know that when you're on here, there is a level of realness. Like we're all still people. We all still exist. Do we wake up looking like a filter? Absolutely not. So it's like, you just have to know what level of what is true. You know?
Yeah.
I hope we get there.
Yeah,
because that
for
would be
sure.
nice.
Yeah, I mean, I have a horror story about filters. So I was photographing this lady. She came in and she, like, you know, had her hair and makeup done, And basically, like like I do with every client, I show them the pictures at the shoot.
Yeah.
So she looks at the pictures and she's like, this doesn't look like me. She's like, it's the hair and makeup. Like, let's fix it. And so my makeup artist was like, yeah, let's fix it. Like, what don't you like? Do you want to lighten up the brows? Like, do you want to like do a lip color or something? She was like, yeah, let's do that. And so, you know, we fixed her makeup and I took another picture and she's like, this still doesn't look like me. And I was like, okay, well, can you like show me a picture of you where you think you look like yourself? She goes on her Instagram and she clicks on the picture and it's a filter picture. I was like, oh, that picture has a filter on it. And she's like, oh yeah, okay. And then she's like, oh, let me find one that doesn't have a filter on it. And then she scrolls down and like every picture has a filter on it. And it was like, she had really forgotten what her face really looked like.
Her mind is just like...
She thinks she looks like the filter.
Oh, bless her.
I know, and I was like, ooh, it's like, I can't make you look like that because...
It's not real.
It's not, yeah, it's a filter. And so, I think, you know, obviously some people like us, we know that like filters are not real. And I really appreciate there's a lot of like Instagram people and TikTok people really exposing that, being like, this is filter, this is non-filter, both are beautiful, whatever.
Yeah.
Some people though don't, like they just don't know the difference. And they just think that they look that certain way or another way.
But don't they realize they like pushed a button to make that happen? Like I had to get here to make that thing happen to my body.
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, in her situation, it was definitely she wasn't aware of it.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought
Less thigh.
you know, we want to keep it
classy.
PG-13.
Yes.
Yeah.
PG-13.
You know, not completely G, but you know, we want to get
13 and above.
Yes.
It's okay.
That's okay. They can look at our leg. I want mine to look longer though. Let's see. You're really good. So here's something that I do want to talk to you about.
Okay.
So like your eye for like detail is crazy. Like even without having known me prior and stuff like that, coming in, and I'm coming in to shoot with you the first time like I shot with you, it was like you made me look so tall. I think you work really well with people's bodies without having to like pre-calculate things too much. You know, you just get there and you feel it and you do stuff. So how did you get there? How did you get to the point where you're just like, I see it, like I just see the vision and I'm just gonna click and it just works.
I think like a lot of different things. I think posing is like super important. And I did take a posing class from this photographer named Sue Bryce. Do you know who she is?
I don't.
She's like a famous portrait photographer, and she had like an online class. And so I did take her class, and I found it really useful. It's posing bodies that aren't like model bodies. So that's, you know, and most of the people that I shoot are models, and some of them are.
Sometimes.
Some of them are professionally, but some of them aren't. And like, you know, I think models, like, they have practice for years, and they know their bodies and they're body aware of like what they're doing. But most people aren't, and you kind of have to like really direct them. In terms of like inspiration and influences, I'm on Instagram all day. Like I'm just looking at other photographers' works. We're talking about like, you know, other people's personal stuff before, but what I use mostly for is to look at other photographers' work and like the posing and the backgrounds and, you know, all of those details that come along with that. So I think it's a twofold thing, like posing your model the way that you want it, and then also, you know, having an idea of the inspiration in your head of what you want to achieve with this image.
Okay, interesting. And so since you brought it up, who are some of your like favorite inspirations on Instagram?
Oh gosh, so of course I follow the amazing Annie Leibovitz. So yeah, like I'm just obsessed with her. Like I have her masterclass. I took a masterclass.
Did you? Was it good? Was it good?
Of course it was good.
What was that question?
Yeah, she's so cool. I just like think she's cool. I don't know, like
she is cool.
Yeah, her art is obviously amazing.
It's like moody.
Yeah, but like she's just a cool person. She's like so rock and roll, and like just so chill about everything and like very real. Like in her masterclass, she wasn't like trying to make herself sound cool or anything. She was just like she was talking about specific shoes, and she was like, yeah, I like don't think I did that well in that shoe, or like, and I'm like, you're like the best
You're the Meryl Streep of photographers.
Yeah. I'm like really into a few like German photographers, because I think they do colors really well. They do like skin, and then I also like follow a lot of Russian photographers because I think they do lighting really well. And so yeah, and so like, you know, I'm trying to. I feel like each culture has their own sort of style of photography, and I'm trying to like learn from each different country.
Which is awesome, because it not only do you do American style well, it's like now you're going to be even more cultured, and it's, I want to call it like the bohemian version of photography.
Yeah. Yeah, like learning from all different cultures, and like how they do things and their tastes.
Yeah, which is really, that's really inspired. That's like, I don't know, I swear, like okay, so you started several years ago, and you were, you know, where you were then, and it's like, then you were where you were when I found you, and now you're where you're at now, which is amazing. And it's like, can you even imagine like 10 years from now what your stuff is going to be like?
Oh my god, I don't know. I have no idea.
It's going to be crazy.
I don't know. I've actually never thought about that before. Like, what would it look like 10 years from now? I just imagine like, you know, flying cars and like everything being in VR. And I don't know. Yeah, that's it. That's interesting. So I'll see you in 10 years from today.
We'll do
another interview. And we'll figure out what my art looks like then.
It'll be crazy. Because I'm already thinking about it. I was like, because I think the first time when we shot, it was kind of leaning towards this. It was like, I think it was starting to go towards where you're at now, where you can do, like, you do kind of moody stuff occasionally. Like your stuff is either really bright but slightly, it's like it's really bright but still kind of moody, which is an interesting, I don't even know how to, I'm gonna put pictures so that y'all can see. I'm like, I don't know how to describe it. Yeah, like well enough. I'm not articulate enough to describe it well, but it's like, it's a lot of bright colors. I'm very happy because sometimes you do stuff for people for commercials and things like that, and so you really lean into that, but at the same time it doesn't lose who you are, and it still has that textural just weight to it, but in a nice way. I'm explaining this oddly, but
I get it. Yeah, thank you so much. Yes. I think I'll put that quote on my website.
It's textural and
but there's like
and
weight.
Bright, but weight to it. It's slightly heavy, but
I love it. Yeah, it's like that's something that I don't think about. So like I don't know. I also yeah, exactly. And you do photography too, so you know this. But like
not as well as you.
Oh, thank you.
Let's put it out there.
You have your style, and it's like hard to step outside of yourself. So like what you're describing is me, and it's like so automatic that I feel like I've actually tried to not do that style, and it's really hard because I always like I have ways that I think things look great, and yeah, it's just really hard to do other things than like what I naturally feel like I like. You know, and I think it's really important as an artist to identify that and to explore it. But yeah, like I guess I haven't done enough of that because it's just it's hard
to break your mold. But you don't need to break your mold because, like I said, you're amazing, and that's why like I fell in love with all of your work. I was just like, oh, this is so cool. Like she's so cool.
I thought you were cool because you came in with like two bottles of olive oil and a bag that you made yourself.
Oh my god!
I'll remember you forever.
I'm not even lying. I totally forgot that I did that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad that you remembered that. What happened? I was really into making olive oil.
Yeah, you made a garlic one, which was really good.
Oh, I'm so glad you
And
enjoyed
then
it.
there was like a chili one, and then you put it in a bag that said bag lady on
Like
it.
bag
That was
lady
like,
bag.
yeah. That was so good.
Oh my God, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, even just through doing these, there are things that you forget in life that, you know, have happened or whatever. And it's like now, like, reconnecting with people and talking with people and like hearing about stuff that we've done together. It's just like, oh my God, I totally forgot about these things and I'm so happy.
Exactly. No, that was so cute. I was like, aw, so nice.
I think it was it around Christmas? I feel like it was around Christmas time, but it might not have been.
Man, I'm bad at seasons.
I don't know. I'm like, I just remember it was nighttime the first
It
time
was
I met you.
nighttime.
It was nighttime.
It was nighttime, and it was in my like really shitty, boxy, concrete studio.
It was a cool studio. You had like everything in there, and to speak on your DIY and how you like, you know, this girl, like I said, she's a boss. She took it from the ground up. She was what do you call those, like not styrofoam, but like
PVC. You're talking about my big light, right?
You had a big light, but you would paint the backdrops.
Oh, for like foam.
Yeah, like foam.
I mean, that's
were they
always
foams?
those.
Okay,
Yeah.
but it's awesome that you do that because it's like some people, you know, you buy it, whatever, and it'll be standard
And $500.
And $500. Like muslin is like super expensive.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what. I'm gonna assume muslin is made of muslin, but I don't know what muslin comes from. Like
a cloth.
Is it a cloth?
I think
like,
so.
Is it wool? Like,
I don't
why is it
know.
so
I don't use
expensive?
fabric.
Is it gold? Like,
Is it gold? Is it
Am
gold?
I getting my return here? My
Is
ROI?
it made of petroleum?
You know?
Now that gas is $4 a gallon.
But there is also one thing that I really want to touch on with you because, like we said, you have grown such a wonderful business. You're doing so well in life. I'm so very, very proud
Aw,
of you.
thanks.
You're welcome. But the one thing that I really think that you do super duper well is your sociability. Is that a word?
Sociability.
You're very personable.
Oh, thanks. That was good.
Okay, good. Yeah, but you're very personable, and I think the way that you create the relationships in your life and the way you maintain them and the way you work with people, I think is not only something beautiful, but something to be striven for. The word, I'm just gonna put like words on the bottom, like the words that it should be.
Like an asterisk.
Yeah, like she really meant this.
It's like a real like YouTuber. That's what they do.
Right, exactly. Like you watch it over and you're like, that wasn't a sentence.
Yeah.
So or English. So it's like we're gonna just put that in there. But you get what I'm saying,
Yeah.
right? Like, so how do you go about being so likable and like relatable and personable?
Yeah, I actually have a Bible. And it's Dale Carnegie's book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. And you've read that too, right?
Yep. Okay.
So that book changed my life.
Mm-hmm.
So before I was like, I didn't like know how to conduct myself, and I was like, my mom is slightly what's the word? I think acerbic. And she's like she's a little socially anxious, and she doesn't really like other people. So I kind of grew up like that too.
Mm-hmm.
I still get socially anxious, but I think the book really helped me out in managing that. And before that I wasn't super. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to interact with people.
Mm-hmm.
But after reading that book, it's like he has 10 things or 8 things that you do, whatever, and it's just like guided me so well. Like I feel like my entire personality has changed, which it probably hasn't to other people, but like from the inside, I feel like I know what I'm doing with people now.
A little less scary.
Yeah. So like I wasn't taught these things when I was younger,
Right.
And so it was like a lot more like. Ugh. But yeah, I feel a lot better about that now. So yeah, read that book. It's like a bestseller for
like
decades.
100 years
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah.
But what do you think a successful life is?
Ooh, a successful life.
Mm-hmm.
I think success is being happy with what you have.
I like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because I think, I don't know, people might say money or fame or whatever, but even if you have all those things, and if you're not happy with what you have, then you haven't succeeded.
True.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
What's your answer?
I think it's the same. I would think a successful life would be being happy, like did you succeed to be happy? And I mean, there are some people who may not even get that far, so I don't want to say they lived an unsuccessful life just because they weren't happy. But I want to say being successful is having been here, like having been present, maybe even just having taken the time to really assess what's going on around you, and maybe have listened to people, actually listened, and not just been talking and waiting for your turn to answer. So maybe just being present and in the moment and really connecting with other people.
So you're thinking about it in terms of like moment by moment, like, am I being successful right now?
Well, not necessarily. Like, I'm thinking of it more as in, because I don't want anybody to feel left out. Like I said, to me, or my version of having a successful life is to just be content. Like, I just want to be content with what I have and feel good about what I've done. That's my version of a successful life. However, I don't want people to feel bad if that's not what they...
But this is your answer, though.
This is my answer, but I want to be kind of more inclusive with it. So I want it to be that if you have given people your attention and been present in the moment and internalized what life is, like found what life is to you, based on these present moments, I think that's a more inclusive answer.
I love that.
Yeah?
I love that. It's so like, it's so like sort of like esoteric and like a little bit hard to grasp.
Oh.
But I think that's the nature of success. You can't define it for everyone.
Yeah, it's really hard, and it's like, but I don't want to be like, but like my version of success is this, and then just
my
like
version of success is $1 million. $1 million means success to me.
Right? $1 million.
$1 million.
Though I would like it if someone wants to give it to me.
Right?
I'll
take
it.
$1 million.
I won't turn you down.
I'm not gonna say no to that.
But that's all we have. Those are all the questions that I have.
Yay!
So thank you for helping me unravel life, and I am going to let you do an outro.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. And thank you for listening, everybody. A good night.